I'd like to call to order the regular meeting on Monday, August 20.
You're off.
Touch it. I'm going to start all over again. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome you to our regular meeting on Monday, August 29th. The time is about 6:04. Would you please join Vice Mayor Laura Tano in the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we thank you for all the blessings we have received, and we ask for your continued guidance, your continued support in these trying times. We ask for your guidance for us to make wise decisions for the citizens of our wonderful community. We ask that you protect all of those that serve our country abroad, those who have family members at home, and our first responders who go out and serve the community every day and put their lives on the line. We thank you, Lord, for all these blessings that you bestowed on us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. We have two communication items tonight. I'm very excited about it. I think this was an invitation we gave a long time ago before they left to accomplish this feat. So Principal Casey Frank and the Centera Mirage STEM Academy robotics team will give a demonstration and provide an update on their 2015 robotics competition success. Assistant to me, the mayor, Lauren Valencia, will introduce the presenter.
Council, good evening. As a lot of you will remember, you visited the Centera Mirage STEM robotics team a few months ago prior to their competing, I think it was in a national competition. So they've come here today to tell you about how that competition went and to give you a brief demonstration. And Principal Frank is here to speak a little bit more about the team and their experience. So thanks very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Mayor, Vice Mayor, City Council members, let me first say thank you so much for the invitation for us to share some information about our wonderful students at Centera Mirage. We are incredibly blessed and proud of the wonderful parents and students and staff, and particularly our RoboCops members at Centera Mirage. What we've prepared for you is just a brief overview of our season last year, and then we will invite our students to say a few words and give a brief robotics demonstration. Last year, we had 8 teams for our competition team. We had the ratio rulers, the geniuses, the probots, the pinchers, the stemgineers, the gear turners, the vexecutioners, and the vex swords. And out of those 8 teams, we had 6 teams who earned state seats at the Arizona Vex Robotics Competition State Championship, February 28th. And from that talented group, we had 3 teams that earned world seats at the VEX World Championships in Louisville, Kentucky in April of 2015. And at this time, I would like for them to introduce themselves and then share a little bit about their experiences in Kentucky prior to the demonstration. And I would also like to extend a thank you to all of the parents, coaches, volunteers, and district support, particularly Dr. Hargrove and Dr. Cabasco, who have made this opportunity very special and made this opportunity possible for our kids. So students, would you like to come share your name and the team that you were on? These are all our World Championship competitors.
I'm Serenity Foreman and from Team Geniuses. I'm Ayla Bailey from Team STEMgineers.
I'm Michael Somit from the Team STEMgineers.
I'm Hai Hun from Team Geniuses.
I'm Nathaniel Meyer from Team Gear Turners.
I'm Sage Foreman from Team Gear Turners on the middle school division.
And at this time, they'll share just a brief piece of information about Louisville, Kentucky, and the World Championships.
So me and my partner competed with teams from Hawaii, Paraguay, Canada, and a lot more. It was a very intense and fun competition. We did a lot of walking. And the Parade of Nations was really fun because I got to walk in it with some of the other team members. And the 2016-2017 game looks really hard, but I have the world experience to conquer it.
Wonderful.
Hello, I am in fifth. My name is Michael Soman. I'm in fifth grade. I loved going to Worlds because I loved seeing all of the robots made by kids from different countries. I loved the friends that we made while competing. All of the teams that we competed with gave us something to remember them by. The kids from Hawaii gave us hats. The kids from China gave us red tassels. And the kids from Colombia gave us coffee. It was really cool seeing all of the different countries during the opening ceremony when I walked with the American flag. It was fun to walk around and see all of the all of the booths that were decorated by the teams. My favorite part was when they revealed the new 2016-17 game, Crossover.
Mm.
I would like to say thank you so much for sponsoring us. It was an amazing experience, and I'll never forget it. And me and my partner Nathaniel competed with teams from Puerto Rico, China, New Zealand, and also Utah, and so many other places. We ended up 57th place in the world and in the top 25% for programming. We also received a letter of recognition from Congressman Raul Grijalva, and that made all of us super proud and just amazingly happy.
At this time, I will let them do just a brief demonstration.
Can we stand up?
Do we need to move that chair? You need that chair moved where he is, the chair that's in front of them? Let's just move that out of the way so they can see. Just,
About the game a little bit. And Nathaniel will tell you a little bit about the game and what the robot can do.
Well, first off, the game starts as your robot starts in a brief small square, and you have to collect the balls in some sort of robot to shoot, or at least get them in a scoring zone, or take them out of the pit holes that they're in. Our robot consists of one basket, 2 collectors that push you up to the shooter.
oh, and it puts it back up.
Like a batting cage.
Love it.
One ball can't just push itself. We have to have 2 balls at the same time.
Wow.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to visit with you and share those wonderful experiences that these students have had. And thank you so much for your sponsorship. Your partnership means a lot to us, and you're welcome at Centera Mirage anytime. We're working on a new game called Crossover, so that will be the 16-17 game. So anytime you'd like to come see a practice or see us work on that piece of it, you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you very much. Now, don't go away. We would like the children to come up here for a picture, okay? Don't let them go away. Now, as they're coming up here, as you come up here and stand, council has a few words for you, so they want to talk to the children. So I guess we'll start with Joe Pizzillo.
You know, I had the opportunity to watch the full-fledged presentation before you left, and there was a few of us that were there at that. And it's amazing if you had the opportunity to watch this, because they had it all laid out and how they were able to take those balls, move them back and forth, shoot them in there, a lot more than what you just saw here today. But the energy, what I was amazed at was the energy of the kids. I mean, they were pumped. And the fact that they had this opportunity to see one, I remember you from whenever we did the tour, and to see the energy, to see what you did. You know, you are our future, and I know we're in great hands with you. So again, I'm glad that we were able to sponsor. I'm glad you went there and you really got something out of it. And please invite us back when you do the next, presentation there. Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
I just want to give congratulations as well. And thank you to all your parents and your teachers and the faculty and everyone that helped you out. You guys are definitely the future. That is so cool. And it's like, I want to go play too. So you should be so proud of yourself. I'm sure one of you will make the next iPhone or the next, Tesla car or something. Something's going to come out of you guys because you have great minds and you did a great job, and congratulations.
Anybody else? Councilman Osborne?
Well, guys, it's great to see you again, and congratulations. Thanks for coming and giving us an update and letting us see you in action. I'm with Vice Mayor Loretana. We're waiting for you guys to do some great things in the future, and thanks for representing Goodyear.
Councilman Campbell?
We just want to say congratulations to you, and we know that going through this whole building it and then going to competition is something that you're going to remember forever, and we'd like to see all of you in competition next year. So keep us posted, and good luck.
Councilman Stiff?
I thought maybe I was going to get picked last like I was in elementary school all over again. So I spent most of the spring traveling, so I didn't get an opportunity to see the preview. So I missed all of the excitement before you guys left. And to see this now and to see your enthusiasm, as Sherry pointed out before our break, as the crabby old uncle of the council, I am excited about our future. So thanks for everything that you guys did, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
Sherilyn?
You know what? I'm really thrilled for you is that maybe I wasn't supposed to say anything. I'm just thrilled for you that you managed to be dedicated to your project, to do an amazing job, and to have fun doing it. Your joy is a great pleasure. So glad we could sponsor you. We'll plan to be involved again next year. And yay, you.
Well, I'm the last one tonight to talk, but I just want you to know how proud we are. And I tell you, 57th, with all of the contestants that were, that is a huge number for you to make. Halfway between really almost 50% of what the young people were that participated in this. And the other thing is, it was fun, wasn't it, meeting people from other countries and having the ability to, talk and have conversation with them, to listen to some of their ideas. It's just one giant step for your future you've taken on this. So we're really looking forward to next year when what we call the crossover. Is that what it's called? So we'll be looking forward to that. So before you go, I'd like you to come up here so we can take a picture with the council, okay?
Oh, that is beautiful. Look at their medal.
That's awesome.
Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. Oh, it is cool.
You should be proud of it.
And you can put next year's with it.
Yeah. You're welcome. Bye-bye. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Oh, look at this.
Yes.
Come and build robots. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep calm and build a robot.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. Keep calm, build robots.
There
I'm going to
you go.
put that on my card.
Got it?
I've got mine.
Like little
Wonderful.
kids.
Use your shirt?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Gear turners, geniuses, and STEM.
STEM.
STEM engineers. STEM engineers. STEM engineers. Very cute.
So that tells a great story about our youth and our schools, so I'm very proud of that.
Wonderful.
The next communication item is an update by the Assistant Communications Director Brock Barnhart with ADOT on the progress of SR 303 and pavement management projects. Rebecca Zook will introduce the presenter. Rebecca?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And again, yes, Brock Barnhart is here to present an update and provide us an update on the Phase 2 of the Loop 303. In addition to that, the rubberized asphalt. He's going to provide an update. Brock is also joined by Mike Rigby, who is the resident engineer for the Phase 2 project.
Thank you. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thanks for the opportunity to brief you this evening on the I-10 Loop 303 project. Tonight's update is going to focus more on the rubberized asphalt paving of I-10. I know that's an important issue for the city as well as the members of the community. I thought there was going to be a graphic up. Essentially, maybe I can just talk through the paving schedule. The paving is actually going to start the weekend after Labor Day, so it would be September 9th would be the first weekend of paving. There'll be several weekends of paving. We have about 8 weekends within our window to get the paving complete, but we have 6 weekends scheduled. So I-10 will essentially be down to 1 to 2 lanes throughout the project area. When I speak project area, that would be Estrella to about Perryville. The paving is actually going to start at the Sayreville location. It's going to work its way west to about the I-10 bridges at 303. The following weekend, it'll pick up from that location at I-10 and then go to the Perryville location, and then they'll essentially flip to the eastbound direction heading towards Phoenix. Again, focusing in on the Perryville area, working back towards Sayreville. They'll leave the section of Estrella, between Estrella and Sayreville last. That'll be the final couple weeks of paving. They'll finish that up again. So we have about 8 weeks of paving allowed through the window of rubberized asphalt paving to meet temperatures this time of year. We have 6 weeks scheduled, so we feel confident that we'll get all of the rubberized asphalt paving done within this fall window. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on the paving itself or the project.
Thank you very much. Questions? Look at this. See all the information we've been given. I think council is very satisfied.
Sorry,
We're
one
all
question. Just one. Sorry,
Councilman Osborne.
I just want to make sure what you just told us, if we could make sure we get just kind of a copy of how you said, starting this way, just so we know which, area you're at through those weeks would be appreciated. That's all.
Absolutely, and we'll be informing the public with regards to the restrictions on I-10 and any ramp restrictions throughout this process. Again, it's going to have I-10 neck down over several weekends, but again, it's the benefit of having that section paved with rubberized asphalt for the benefit of the community for noise mitigation measures. So.
That's it. Well, you're very good at notifying people. I've been very pleased with it, so I'm sure that it's going to go around smoothly. People will complain because they'll forget, and people are people, but on the end result, we just have to keep that in mind. Everybody will be happy by the less sound, less noise coming into some of those neighborhoods. So thank you very much for coming for us tonight, this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now is the time for citizens who would like to address the city council on any non-agenda item. Do we have any cards?
No, Mayor.
Is there anybody in the audience that wanted to speak before the council? Don't see that, so we'll go on. Let's do the consent agenda. Item 6.4, the MOU for the firehouse subs to accept grant funds has been removed from the agenda. Will the city clerk please read agenda items 6.1-6.3 by title only, please?
Item 6.1, approve the July 2016 budget transfers. Item 6.2, number 1, adopt ordinance number 16-1329, providing authority to the Director of Engineering to manage the closure or blockage of public rights-of-way, imposing requirements for the closure or blockage of public rights-of-way, providing for penalties, repealing ordinance number 2000-6698, and providing an effective date. Number 2, adopt resolution number 16-1755, amending the municipal user fee schedule adopted by resolution number 10-1357 by adding street closure fees that were listed in ordinance number 2000-698 and providing for an effective date. Item 6.3, adopt resolution number 16-1770, providing notice of the March 14, 2017 primary and the May 16, 2017 general elections.
Thank you. Does anyone from the public wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Does anyone from the council wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Then could I please have a motion?
So move.
Second.
I heard a motion to, excuse me, for the current, sorry guys, for the motion I've heard it was from Councilman Campbell, and it was a second from Councilman Pizzillo. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Osborne?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
All right. I'd like to go to the business and would council just one more time reminding council to refrain from asking questions until the staff presentations are complete and there's a motion on the table. The first item on business is a public hearing to consider the zoning ordinance text amendment to allow loading, delivering, and a roll-up dock doors to the front on a public street. Opening the public hearing, Karen Craver, Planner 3, to present. Karen?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. This amendment to allow loading, delivery, and roll-up dock doors fronting on a public street in the industrial zoning districts is staff initiated. We are proposing the allowance to increase the opportunities for industrial businesses seeking to establish locations in the city. But we are doing so with limitations intended to minimize impacts on surrounding properties. Specifically, the public street is not an arterial street. There is no adjacent residential. The doors occupy a maximum of 50% of the building width facing the street, and it can be increased to 75 if it's on a corner. The doors are screened from public view, and 2 rows of trees are planted along the street frontage. By writing the allowance into the zoning ordinance, the need for individual industrial businesses coming to the city and having to request a PAD rezoning, that need is eliminated. And we think that with this ease of development, making locating in the city more attractive to those industrial businesses. The proposed amendment went through all the legal advertising requirements and was posted on the city website, and we have received no inquiries. The proposed amendment also went to the Planning and Zoning Commission on August 17th. They recommended approval unanimously and cited their support for increasing economic development opportunities. And naturally, staff is recommending approval of the staff-initiated amendment. And we ask that you approve it tonight by adopting the ordinance. And any questions you may have, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Karen. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All right. Then I'm going to close the public hearing. And will the city clerk please read ordinance 16-1336 by title only, please?
Ordinance number 16-1336, amending Article 3-4-3 Industrial District Standards of the zoning ordinance as amended to allow loading, delivery, and roll-up dock doors to front on a public street in the I-1 light industrial and the I-2 general industrial zoning districts under certain circumstances, providing for corrections, severability, and effective date and penalties.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Holman and a second by Vice Mayor Valortano, open for council discussion. Councilman Pizzillo.
Hi, Karen. Just a general question. I noticed in there that talks about 24-inch box, but you can put a 3-foot high tree in a 24-inch box. Do we have any standard on that? Because I assume a lot of those trees are going to be to block. Remember, you have the 2 rows of trees to block any view from the public or main right-of-way, so that as you're driving by, you won't see the loading dock tied up. And I know sometimes it takes a while for those things to grow, because I remember a couple of places where they put the 24-inch box, but the trees weren't that big, okay? Is there any way you're going to mitigate that to make sure that, because the intent of the code is to ensure that it's not being seen from the public, those loading docks on the main arterials?
Mayor, if I may, Councilman Pizzillo, those 2 rows of trees would be double our normal planting requirements. Typically, there's just 1 row, basically 20 feet on center along the frontage. So there would be 2. And yes, they can be some pretty small trees when they start out, but the idea is that a 24 box is coming along in terms of size. But more importantly, that's going to occur in front of a 2-foot high berm with a 6-foot wall on top of it, or an 8-foot wall. So it's hoping that the combination and the eventual growth of the trees up above that wall will serve to eventually block those doors.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Stipp.
Karen, thanks for the detail up front about staff initiation, et cetera. I like the idea. I'm glad we're able to do something preemptively. I just have a generic question about the car wash in item 8C. It says it shall not front on a public street or service bays. What do we consider the front of a car wash? The place where the vehicles go in, the place where the vehicles go out, or because we've got a couple that we've already allowed that do that. So I'm just trying to get my head around, what does that mean?
Mayor, if I may, first of all, we separated them out because we were doing the overhead doors for the industrial businesses and to promote the locations of the businesses. But then the car wash had originally been part of the same zoning ordinance requirement that didn't allow them to front on a public street. But what we would consider the car wash service bay would be wherever it was open. So it would be if you were driving in or you were driving out. It's that opening that we wouldn't want fronting on a public street.
So I'm thinking of the car wash on Dysart and the car wash
on
Estrella.
Mm-hmm.
They both, the tunnel, if you will, is fronting on those roads. So I'm trying to figure out, are we adding to this? Are we? I don't want to hang up on the car wash thing, but here comes Katie.
And this is industrial area.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay,
it's not hanging me up. I'm just trying to.
Just make sure that the public knows this is industrial.
So is the other one.
Thank you, Mayor, Councilmember Stipp. And I can't remember the specifics of those cases, but those were permitted through a use permit. So in the commercial districts, it also says that a car wash bay cannot front a public street, but it can be considered in front of City Council, and those were approved by City Council.
So that becomes the exception that council approves?
Yeah, that council can approve it. And I know the one on Estrella Parkway, because of the shape of the parcel, they couldn't orient it any other way. So it was either oriented that way or the project was not viable.
Right. And this council heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yes.
Yeah, we did.
At least 5 of us did, or 6 of us
Right.
did. So that one just caught my eye. So thanks for entertaining it.
Anybody else? Councilman Campbell.
Well, my concern was with the car wash with C under number 8. Because the car wash that we did approve on Pebble Creek Parkway, we have the going in on Pebble Creek Parkway, and we really should have had the coming out on Pebble Creek Parkway, because the coming out disturbs all the businesses within that whole area, and speaking specifically of Augie and his patio. So, and there would not have made any difference which end was facing Pebble Creek Parkway because nobody would have known if it was the in or the out, the way it was shaped on that lot. So I just hope that if we have an opportunity to work with other car wash owners who might want to come to our city, that not only do we figure out how to put it on the lot or the pad, that we also take into consideration how it's going to be facing the other merchants around because of the noise. Does that make sense? And I know this says shall, so because it says shall, that means it will not be placed on the street. So how are they going to ask for a variance and it comes back before us to talk about it? Or do you just automatically say no?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Councilwoman Campbell, one thing to keep in mind with this particular amendment, this is in the industrial zoning district.
Right.
This is in the light industrial district and the general industrial district.
Well, give me a street, please. Where's a light industrial area? Bullard?
143rd Avenue. Over here where the Michael Lewis building was just built, that's industrial. I-1 light industrial.
Why would we not want a car wash facing that street?
Well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is this is industrial district regulations that we are amending, but very typically, probably 95% of the time, a car wash is going to go into a commercial district.
Right.
And that's, as Katie said, those car washes going in the commercial districts will go through a use permit process and will come before the P&Z and come before you, at which time we can work on the nuances of the site and the individual business.
Okay.
So we just kind of addressed what had already been in the industrial districts and separated out from the roll-up doors.
Okay, thanks. I just don't want us to go through the complaint.
Okay, I think thank you for the presentation. I think we're ready to vote. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Osborne? Aye. Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, 7.2, is a public hearing to consider a special use permit to allow the development of a daycare center. Open the public hearing. Hello, Alex. Alex Lutinsky, Planner 2, to present.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Good evening. This item is a request for a special use permit from it's called the Learning Experience Daycare Center, also known as TLE. Special use permits are required for daycares in any district, so we can further evaluate parking, the flow of traffic. And so this property is just south of King of Kings Church on the northwest corner of Litchfield Road in Avalon. The proposed building is 9,850 square feet. The playground on the east side, is 7,500 square feet proposed. The daycare will serve children from the ages 6 weeks to 5 years old. And then I was told that the max capacity is usually based on the size of the playground. For this site is about 206 babies and kids. And that's just based on enrollment. These are some conceptual elevations that I've included. Wow, my PowerPoint was shorter than I remembered. So the church and school do share some parking in the cross-access easement, and they do operate at different times. Hours of operation are between 6 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. The neighborhoods category of the general plan does call for daycare facilities appropriate between major arterials and residential as a good buffer between the two. All public hearing notifications were satisfied. A citizen review meeting was held on July 27th. Staff and the applicant were available at that meeting, however, no one showed up. And we haven't received any phone calls, nor did anyone show up for the Planning Commission hearing that was held on August 17th. The Planning Commission did recommend approval, and as Planning Commission and staff do recommend approval subject to the stipulations. The applicant is available for questions, and I can answer any if I am able to.
Thank you, Alex. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
All right, let's close the public hearing. And could I have a motion and a second to approve the special use permit to facilitate the development of the Learning Experience Daycare Center at the northwest corner of Litchfield Road and Avalon Drive, subject to stipulations? A
So
motion?
moved. Second.
All right, I heard a motion from Councilman Campbell, a second from Vice Mayor Loretano. Open for discussion. Councilman Basillo.
Just a couple questions. That's a busy road there on Litchfield Road coming out of Avalon. From a traffic standpoint, because I assume traffic is going to be heavy early in the morning and around 5 or 6. With the study and the traffic flows, there was no problems with being able to take 100 and some parents or whatever coming out of there at those times.
Thank you, Mayor, Councilmember Pizzillo. The traffic report was submitted to the engineering department. They did a review and approve it with all of the traffic counts on Avalon and Litchfield, with no comments or concerns.
Okay. The last question has to do with the playground, and they're small ones. And playground is backing up to Litchfield Road. Now, I understand there's a buffer there between that and the road, but any ideas? There's certain requirements we have as far as fence height to make sure there's no intruders can wander into that facility from the out. In today's environment, I want to make sure those kids are safe in that playground.
Absolutely, thank you. I did bring this, and I forgot to pull it up because I didn't have it at the time I made my presentation. So these are some walls from the existing learning experience sites. They're proposed 6 feet. They are completely boarded, so you can't see in, can't see out.
Okay. All right. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I just have a quick question.
Vice Mayor?
I just had a quick question about parking. Having all those parents, obviously, like what Councilmember Pizzillo was saying, it's obviously early in the morning, late at night. Is there enough parking spaces here for this number of students, kids?
Thank you. Can I have the presentation back? So with the shared parking agreement and access, we do have the extra parking spaces with King of Kings, and so the parents are required to walk their children into the facility since they are infants and small children. When they drop off the students, as far as I believe, and the applicant can correct me if I'm wrong, it is throughout the day, so it not necessarily is that. I mean, there definitely will be peak hours, but it should be spread out. So judging from the extra parking that's on the King of Kings site and the parking that they have provided here, we find it fit that there's the correct amount of parking.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Councilman Holman?
Yes, I wanted to ask, there's a buffer between the street and the fence, correct?
Yes, there's 30-foot landscape buffer between Litchfield Road and then the fence.
And it's really not a fence, it's a wall, right?
The wall, yes.
Yeah, okay. And when we talked earlier, and what was a relief to me was that there is some reinforcement in the wall. So if a car does careen from Litchfield Road, as it does from time to time, that is not just a block wall.
Yes, thank you. If we look on the site plan, there are some safety bollards that are included along the wall against Litchfield Road. And then the applicant can, if you'd like him to further elaborate on the safety of that wall.
Let's welcome the applicant up. Okay. Please state your name and address, please.
Thank you all. My name is Bill Crowley from Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Sorry, I'm not sure what your question was.
Well, I had just been assured that there was some kind of additional barrier than just the traditional 6-foot block wall. If a car would careen and go, that there would be additional stoppage rather than just the wall, and I found that reassuring.
Yes, the bollards along the east side of the fence are designed for that specific purpose. The The fence isn't actually a block wall. It's a PVC fence that helps with the kids. I mean, obviously, as you can understand, young kids in a CMU block wall don't really match too well in a playground setting. So the fence is designed in a PVC type material, but the bollards along the side are there for the protection of just what you had mentioned as a careening car. And it's been done in different places with either boulders or steel bollards or however, you may see fit. And obviously each jurisdiction is different in that regard.
And what's planned here?
Steel bollards are along that fence line.
Any other questions?
Just a comment.
Councilman Campbell?
Well, I'm delighted to see something going next door to King of Kings Church, because that church, for many years, it was a vacant lot, and the church was working so hard to be able to build their building, and their building is beautiful, and we're very proud of that. Did you do that as well?
No, we did not.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It
is.
really is. They did a beautiful job, and I like the idea that you're going to site the entrance of this area around off of Avalon, so the cars will come in, they can park at the church lot, get out, and then walk into the door. And I think that would be good. And with the bullards, how close are the bullards going to be to each other? How far apart are they? Do you know?
I'm not sure exactly what it states on that site plan. At this point, we can make whatever arrangements are needed to make.
We're
sure
just
that safety's
concerned
first.
because Litchfield Road is such a busy road, and we don't want a car to jump the curb and come through that.
Absolutely.
We just want
nobody wants that.
No, they
for
don't.
sure.
And unfortunately, it probably would happen at night more than it will during the day, when people aren't paying attention, really.
Right.
But just whatever you can do to ensure the safety of those children
Absolutely.
would be
That's
very
number
much
one concern.
appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you.
Councilman Osborne?
I just wanted to say welcome to Goodyear. We appreciate your business and the fact that you're next to the church with this residential area with a lot of working families. I think is going to be a good fit. So thank you for
Seems
choosing us.
like it. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilman Stipp?
You've seen the location.
Oh, yeah.
I think about the little kids at nap time and the fire trucks that are constantly leaving that station. So, obviously you need to be aware of what your surroundings are.
Sure.
Statement. Okay. The other question I have for Alex is, there is still another parcel on this site that is yet to be developed. Is there a provision that now allows that to be compatible with a daycare center? How is that zoned? How have we protected that situation?
Thank you, Mayor, Councilmember Stipp. The site is still zoned commercial office and will be used for an office facility or anything within the commercial office zoning. The daycare use, like I said, is required to have the special use permit, which still fits with the commercial office zoning. So it will still be maintained as that office type building unless a rezone happens, which is up to whoever comes in the future.
Okay. Are we aware of any potential? Because when the church was being built, we were aware of this potential. Are we aware of a potential for that other location?
I'm not actually sure. I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
There's some activity. I do know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can't speak to what it is yet. I know that there's been multiple inquiries regarding that piece of property, and they've been very close numerous times, to my understanding.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
Well, what an ideal location for it. When I think you've got the YMCA across the street, you've got a day trip to the firehouse, you've got the park. What more could you ask? I'm sure that's going to be filled up quickly.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
It only took 45 locations to get to this one. So
Oh, my.
Wow.
that's how long
Wow.
it took to find a spot this good.
Well, we're real pleased. I think
We got a
it's
few
going
more
to be-
for you if you're interested.
Yes.
That's what I hear.
Yes, and we have lots of children. We do have for you, so just keep
Great.
going. All right, thank you so much.
you.
I think we're ready for voting, so all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
The next item, 7.3, is to consider approving the expenditure to complete the pavement management projects, and Ron Seabright, Streets and Traffic Superintendent, to present.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here to present our 2016-17 projects. And the expenditure for this year is going to be $3,072,000. $72,000 of that is what we acquired from ADOT and will be designated to put a microsurface onto Van Buren from Saraville to the east limits of Cotton, where ADOT's going to leave off with their construction. What I'd like to show you now is some of the treatments that we put on that are similar to the ones we're doing this year. This is an area that we put a low volume Cape Seal. This is prior to the treatment. As you can see, it's got a lot of cracks. Rio Paseo is that subdivision that's just north of Virginia between Bullard and Pebble Creek. And then this is the product after it's been put down. And that was put in all the subdivisions just north of Virginia in that area. And it turned out very well. We were really happy with it. The next surface treatment that we did was a microsurface, and that was on Estrella Parkway. We did that all the way from McDowell down to past MC85 down to the bridge. This is some pictures before. You can see how it's raveled. It's got some cracking, a little bit of rutting in the road. And then here's the road, the way it looks after it was done. And as you can see, it looks much better. Even the landscaping looks a lot better after it's done. And our next project that we did was a Slurry Seal. This was in Palm Valley Phase 5. This is before, as you can see, the road's raveled. It's got some slight cracking. The Slurry Seal covers up those areas and seals them very well. And this is the picture after it was done. As you can see, there are tire marks in the roadway. This usually happens during the hotter parts of the year. These tire marks will need out, and we do advise drivers that when they're pulling out of their driveways to try to turn while they're moving instead of stopping and turning at the same time. It helps hold up the integrity of the surface. And about after a year, those all knead in, and they look really nice. So looks very well. Our next treatment that we did was a hot in place recycle. This is the Indian School Road prior to the treatment. And this is the treatment after. This is 2.5 years old, and that road looks very well. It rides really smooth. We have very little reflective cracking coming through that road. As you can remember, it had a lot of wide cracks in it, and it looks really nice. This year's projects are going to be in some subdivisions. This is the area that's part of south of I-10. The brown, as you see, is going to be a low-volume Cape Seal. Those are roads that have a lot of cracks, and low-volume Cape Seal will seal those up very nicely. The purple areas will be receiving a Slurry Seal, and the gold areas are the ones that will be getting the micro seal. So we're going to be doing Van Buren, as you can see, and in this one you can also see we're going to get Cornerstone from Palm Valley Boulevard all the way out to Dysart, and then you'll see partially where we're going to microseal Bullard Avenue. This next section shows the rest of the projects. We're going to do the hot in place recycle on Litchfield from Yuma down to MC85. We're going to do the rest of, you can see the rest of Lower Buckeye Parkway being done there. And then we're also going to do Lower Buckeye Parkway from Village Boulevard out to Saraville. The next area is the southern region, and this is our, we're going to do some more hot in place recycle. We're going to be doing Elliott Road, and that's going to go from the east limits all the way down to the west where the end of the property line is. And as you know, hot in place recycling is one of our most evasive projects. It does take a lot of coordination, and we already have a plan in place to do the coordination with the businesses, the homeowners, and schools in that area. Just west of San Miguel there, that's where the custom homes are. That's going to get a Slurry Seal as well. And then San Miguel will get a microsurface from Elliott all the way back out to Estrella Parkway. Some of the ways that we determine which roads are going to be due is by the road classification, whether it's a residential, collector, or arterial, or industrial area. We determine which areas by the pavement condition, as well as light treatments. We do a 5-year plan, and say if some treatments come up, like some slurry seals in some neighborhoods come up in the first year, but we have several others in the outlying years, we'll combine those together and do those at the same time. We also look at development considerations. Any place that has been determined to us, or we know that there's going to be development in the near future, we try to stay away from those areas because anything that we put on those streets is going to be torn up and replaced. So at this time, I'll entertain any questions or that you may have on these projects.
Thank you, Ron. That's a nice presentation. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? Then could I please have a motion, a second, to approve the budget expenditures not to exceed $3,072,000 to complete the pavement management projects in various locations throughout our city. I hear motion.
So moved.
Second. I heard a motion by Councilman Osborne and a second by Councilman Pizzillo. Open for council. Oh, it was you. Sorry. You know, I can't tell you. I can't tell the voices apart. Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Joe.
Open for council discussion. No, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I think this is a great plan because it's really great to keep up. That was our goal, to keep up what we have. I do have a question about some of the ones that were done past. I know, like up in Estrella, in like Sonoran Springs and Mesquite Ridge, I'm seeing the cracking coming back. Is that something that, as you're doing this, I know it was under contract for a warranty for 2 years, you're going to take a look at and fix those areas as well? Because it seems like the cracks are getting big again.
No, I'm not familiar with those areas. If they were a project as far as that's similar to what we put down in your neighborhood, that has a 5-year warranty program. So prior to the 5 years, we start meeting with the contractor and we start reviewing those areas. We don't want to do it too soon because we don't want them to have to come back twice and interrupt the neighborhood. So we come closer to the warranty period, and then we review all those areas, and then any that they have to fix, they come back and they fix.
Okay, so that will be something that will be coming back because I'm noticing the cracks are opening up in the same spots again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Pizzillo?
Just a general comment. Listen, I appreciate, to me, this is one of those programs I really think you got to stay on top of it because it costs more if you just let it degrade and you got to come back and tear it all up and relay the road. So, again, I appreciate the management program and I appreciate the money and you coming in front of us and giving all of those because this is real important because if you stay on top of this, we got the life of the road kind of goes on for much longer than if you let it degrade. So, again, I appreciate the efforts.
Councilman Stipp?
Just returned from Fort Hood, which is in Killeen, Texas, in that area. And I got to tell you, I have never had a greater appreciation for our street preservation program until this past week when I have driven on various forms of roadway degradation. And I know and I am a big complainer of the cracks and whatnot, but I have driven on some.
I'm surprised.
Some street. Oh, here you are. Look at that. I have driven on some quality of roadways that are just horrible. So I am very appreciative of the work that you guys are doing, and thanks for bringing that forward. In addition, I'd like, since I haven't been a supporter of the budget, I have to say thank you to the rest of my council members for putting money into this program over the years while I haven't been voting for it. But it's as Joe points out, it is critical to our success as a city that we've got well-maintained streets. So, and I don't think we ever really give that enough credit. So thanks very much for all the work that you guys do.
Well, I have to tell you, Ron, I've been really excited. I was telling the city manager this morning at a meeting how exciting it is running around the city and seeing the streets blocked and the orange flags up and they're working on all the streets because, I mean, you can't go anywhere that you don't see in the city that you see something being done to the streets. And when I hear the word Saraville, isn't that sweet to your ears, everybody? So really, you're doing a great job, and it really shows that we do care about this city and that we're keeping up with it. So Really great. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right, let's vote on this. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, this is the end of this meeting before we go into a special meeting. So let's, any comments from the City Council they'd like to make? None? Yeah, Councilman Stipp.
Actually, I have two, and they're related to one another. First, over the break, I attended the Center for Priority-Based Budgeting Conference. Had a great discussion with the manager during our one-on-one session, so hopefully we'll see some change from that. But it was a very interesting conference from a user's perspective, from an elected perspective. I wasn't the only elected person there, so that was really kind of neat. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that. And I had it written down before I left, and now I can't find it, so I've been frantically searching for it. But I believe somebody in our audience has been named one of the top 50 engaging local government people. Christian? Have I got that right? Is that
you have that right?
That
And
right.
if you want to further embarrass, make them stand up. I would.
Oh, absolutely.
No, come on, stand up so we can
So
clap.
someone fill in the blank for this because I'm just
Give
arriving
give
today.
the official.
What was he? Top 50, right? Did I get this right? Somebody help me with
Yeah,
this.
somebody give the official.
Come on up, Christian.
Christian, you
Toot
come
your
up and
horn.
tell us.
Come on, tell us.
Yeah, what is it?
Make it nice and clearer
It
now.
was top 100, but I'm not sure.
But I think you were in the top 50.
Oh, thank you.
Of what?
Of what?
It was like influential government people or something.
Whoa,
Yeah, something like that.
But who did it? Who did it? Who
Very
gave him
pleased.
that award?
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah,
ELGL, Emerging Local Government Leaders.
Yeah.
So it's for those that are up and coming in government. So yes, that's a group, Emerging Local Government Leaders. We call it ELGL for
And
short.
as long as I'm embarrassing people, Pam Weir was identified in the member spotlight of the ICMA this month as well.
Yes.
So we've got a couple of very
Hiring
shining
great
stars.
people. Thank you, Bill. Councilman Pizzillo?
Is this where we ask something of the manager? Or is that next?
Well, let's get everybody, if they want to, any other, Councilman Campbell?
Well, we went to the League of Cities last week, and it was a lot of fun. Wore us out. Met some wonderful, interesting people, and it was fun to network with my friends from National League of Cities coming in from D.C. with Council Member Matt Zone, who will be the NLC president next year. But the Arizona League did a wonderful job. They had very interesting speakers for us, and we learned an awful lot of new, interesting things, and we were able to share how we do certain things in our city, and it was just very enjoyable. The only thing I wished, truthfully, and I know my city manager's not going to want to hear this, but it was brutal driving it every day to try to make a 7 or 7:30 breakfast. You had to leave your house at 4:45 to make a 7:30 breakfast from here. It was an hour and 45-minute trip just because the traffic was so awful. And I now understand why some folks stayed at the hotel, and if I had to do it again, I would do that, just so that because I didn't make any of the breakfasts, even though I was on my way, the breakfast was over by the time I got there. So, but it was a wonderful conference, and thank you for letting us go.
Any other comments? Well, I too was on the highway, but I have a Prius. So
Yeah.
I had a little easier time
So,
getting
yeah,
there.
she gets in the carpool lane.
Yeah, so anyway, I didn't stay at the hotels either. So anything else? I'm going to turn it over to the city manager. Is there anything to report, or did I miss
Mayor and
anything?
council
I'm
have-
sorry. Excuse me. I guess I missed Councilman Pizzillo.
You know, as I was coming in, one of the things that I was kind of noticing is the police facility and how we've been looking for that for years, and it looks like it's almost there, okay? So I guess my question is, can I just get a status update of the project? Because I know that's one thing we're all very proud of is it look like it's on time, and when does it think it's going to get done? Is it on budget? And if it's not on budget, do we have to tweak anything to get it on budget? And if so, what? because, I mean, that's a proud moment of us at police facility. So it'd be nice to get an update on all those particular issues relating to the police facility. Okay?
Vice Mayor?
Oh, I just had a different question. I know you've chosen the a consulting group for the fire station study, and I know we had some different issues. Like I know First Ray, and one of my issues was the redundancy. Are those issues? Are they being told about some of our concerns that have been brought up here throughout, so that those answers can be a part of the study?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, absolutely. There's a lot of discussions with staff as part of that. They actually have been here. They came out to our site today, and I know today they were spending time up in Mobile, but they're hitting every part of the community, having a lot of dialogue with staff and understanding what the issues are as well before they get into their modeling.
Thank you. I just want to make sure everything's covered so we only have to do it once.
Okay. Yes, Councilman Campbell?
I have just a question for you, and it's probably going to have to go through to someone else. Do we do do we have a citizen survey of our residents that use Southwest Ambulance? And do we hear back what our residents think of their service and how they respond to our inquiries as a patient or whatever? I was on hold 45 minutes just to talk to someone to tell them the bill was already paid. And I just wonder how good their customer service is. I know they do wonderful work rushing you to a hospital, but, how do they do with the other stuff? And do we hear about that? Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Mayor and Councilmember Campbell, it's actually not part of the citizen satisfaction survey, but if we're able to get some of the results of what we're hearing on customer service, obviously, as you know, not within our control, but as we hear that, we'll definitely advise council.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Do you have anything else to report to us?
A couple of follow-up items. One is, and listening to Brock Barnhart from ADOT, we will get a schedule to council. He went through the schedule, but I think that'd be very helpful. So the council's informed. And as you know, as was stated, ADOT will reach out to the public. Will help out in that effort as well. So that's when we'll get to you. And there were a lot of discussions on the bollards up against a fence, and then so what I thought it'd be helpful for council, because you may end up getting asked a question, what is being put up there. So if we can give you some specifications for that, I think that'd be helpful. And then follow up on where we're at with the police station, certainly where we're at with the time frame for opening, as well as budget and some of those other elements. And that's all I have for follow-up. I do have a couple of updates. One, the APS office, it did in fact close 5 o'clock on Friday. And if you walk by there today, you will see it's Goodyear employees from the finance department, customer service folks that are now behind that counter. So the transition went very well, and we were open at 8 o'clock this morning. We did have an APS employee, Rachel, that actually sat there in a chair and just to help us out for this week, but she will not be there next week. We continue to try and get the information out. It'll be in the In Focus. It just hit the homes this week again as another reminder. So if you hear anything, let us know. But it's a transition. I think some folks, especially a lot of the customers, are non-Goodyear residents, and APS did their best to try and get the information out. We'll still have some of that that goes on. And the last item is Labor Day. We are closed on Monday, September the 5th, so that's in observance of Labor Day. And it really, when you think about it, it honors the labor movement of America. So it really does reward all of those that put their heart and soul into making this such a great country. So that's all I have, Mayor and Council.
Great. Well, I'm going to adjourn this meeting, but we have a special meeting following this. So the next meeting will be a CFD meeting and a special meeting, a work session, a regular meeting on September 12th, 2016. So I'm going to adjourn this meeting, and I'm going to call to order the special meeting agenda, and we're all here So could I have, let's see, so we're here, the city attorney and city manager regarding the position in connection with contractual negotiations associated